Today on People Now, more clarity for the family of Aretha Franklin after 3 handwritten wills are discovered. We'll tell you where they were found.
Mel B speaks out on how she's doing after suffering temporary blindness.
Why did Elle Fanning faint at Cannes, and how's she doing now?
Every black male who was in the park last night is a suspect.
A powerful new series about the Central Park 5 is coming to Netflix. The show stars join us for an inside look.
Plus,
howdy, y'all. Can I jump in when you get a second?
Hannah B's Road to Love is getting more ridiculously dramatic by the day, and we are here for all of it with our Batch panel.
It's all live today on People Now. Let's go.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to People Now. Monday night was only the second episode of The Bachelorette. Things already starting to heat up.
They are. So Luke P got hot and heavy with Hannah B last night. Even revealed on the group date he was starting to fall in love with her.
Oh, boy.
It's been a couple days, guys. He's already there.
Aggressive.
Obviously, this ruffled a lot of the guys' feathers. It got us thinking, was Luke's confession sincere, or is it too soon? Vote in our People poll, or just tweet us your answer with the hashtag PeopleNow.
We're going to check in on those results and break down last night's dramatic and a little ridiculous episode with our full Bachelorette recap. That's in just a bit. But for now, here's what you need to know and what's trending today. We begin with this. Months after Aretha Franklin died of pancreatic cancer at the age of 76, her family may have more clarity on the soul singer's last will and testament. A lawyer now says that 3 handwritten wills were found in her Detroit home, the most recent of which was dated March 2014. The most recent will was found in a spiral notebook under couch cushions and appeared to leave her assets to family. Some writing in the will was apparently hard to decipher. Some pages with scribbled out words and phrases written in the margins. 2 other wills dating back to 2010 were also found in a locked cabinet after a key was located. Now, this is according to David Bennett, an attorney for Franklin's estate. Bennett filed the 3 wills on Monday. He's unsure, though, how they'll hold up legally under Michigan law. A hearing is scheduled for June 12th. Bennett also confirmed the wills were shared with Franklin's 4 sons or their lawyers, but no determination was reached yet on whether any of the wills should be considered valid. A statement released from the estate said 2 of Franklin's sons object to the wills. At the time of her death, family members and lawyers believe she didn't leave behind a will at all. Meanwhile, Franklin's star power still remains strong. She was posthumously awarded an honorary Pulitzer Prize in April for her extraordinary career. And a 1972 concert film called Amazing Grace was also released to much praise from critics. All right, moving on to this. A source tells People that Mel B is doing fine after a herpes infection reportedly rendered her blind last week. According to The Sun, the 43-year-old Spice Girl went to the hospital on Friday complaining of blindness in her right eye. It sounds serious, but the source tells People this has happened before and is nothing a few eye drops from the doctor couldn't fix. Mel B already has trouble seeing with her left eye after it was reportedly damaged from a laser surgery gone wrong in the 90s. Now, after her vision in her right eye returned, she reportedly left the hospital and got right back to rehearsals for the upcoming Spice Girls tour. That kicks off in Dublin, Ireland on Friday. Now, the tour is sans Victoria Beckham, aka Posh Spice, and hasn't been without a little bit of drama, but the source says rehearsals are going smoothly. And the group, by the way, just did a friends and family show that apparently went really well. A rep for Mel B did not immediately return People's request for comment. On Sunday, after the apparent eye scare, she did post a video of some wild nail art to her Instagram with the caption, "Getting glam, ready for Spice Girls dress run, yippee," with like 3 E's, so you knew she meant it. Looks like she's doing okay. We are obviously all fans. We can't wait to see that tour. We're glad to hear things are going well. All right. Do not come for Oprah Winfrey. The media mogul delivered the commencement speech for the graduating class at Colorado College on Sunday, where she shook hands with all 571 graduates and gave them all copies of her new book, The Path Made Clear. Now, Oprah shared the exciting day on her Instagram with a photo of a particularly excited student. Her caption reads, "I don't know who this guy is, but he sure is happy to graduate." This is social media, so naturally, Winfrey's post raised some criticism from fans who compared her gift to Robert F. Smith's gift. Now, you'll remember he announced at Morehouse College on Sunday that he would pay off the student loans for the entire class of 2019. One Instagram user posted on Oprah's commencement pic saying, "Should have paid off their student debt." Oprah was quick to clap back, cheekily saying, "Already paid $13 million in scholarships, have put over 400 men through Morehouse." That's a pretty powerful clapback.
Yeah.
She's doing her work. The comment has since been deleted as more fans defended Oprah and her philanthropic efforts. Just recently, Oprah pledged $2 million to the Hispanic Federation of Flamboyant Arts Fund and their relief efforts in Puerto Rico. Look, Oprah, no doubt, has done and continues to do her fair share of good work.
So much scholarship money. She builds schools. It's fine. Leave Oprah alone. She does a lot. Go for other people on social media.
Is this now the new standard, though, that every commencement speaker is going to be expected to kind of contribute to that student body?
On social media with people commenting, because it's never enough for them. We love what you do, Oprah.
We love
amazing.
Oprah. All right, more for some Star Treks.
Yes, we are kicking off Star Trek today with an adorable video from the royal family. Watch.
How many marks out of 10 would you give it? 10 being the highest.
20.
20 out of 10. Okay, that's pretty good.
20.
I think Mummy's done well.
How cute is that? Prince George giving his mom's garden a 20 out of 10 in this newly released video. In it, Dad Prince William, Mom Kate Middleton, and their kids can be seen playing in Kate's Back to Nature themed garden at the Chelsea Flower Show in London. The couple's kids gave the garden a test drive on Sunday before it opened to the public. Looks like they're having a great time. Kate created the garden alongside the Royal Horticultural Society and designers Andre Davies and Adam White to highlight the benefits of playing outdoors. And she was surprised by her own children's visit, saying that they found ways to play in the garden in ways she hadn't imagined. Kate added the kids were throwing stones, well, hopefully not at anyone, and they, quote, kicked their shoes off and wanted to paddle in the stream. Sounds like a dream come true. Kate also had a special visitor on Monday as the Queen dropped by to get a sneak peek, and she got a peck on the cheek from Kate, followed by a quick and perfect curtsy. The Queen was visiting the exhibit at the Flower Show before the show officially opened to the public on Tuesday. Prince William and Kate gave the monarch a private tour of the garden, with Kate on hand to answer any questions the Queen might have. Very lovely. All right, Game of Thrones spoiler alert. The pack survives, but as it turns out, Sophie Turner's arm tattoo gave away the ending long before the finale aired on Sunday. The actress who played Sansa Stark in the popular series denied last June that the tattoo of a dire wolf on her arm with the iconic Stark phrase underneath had anything to do with the show's ending. But as fans now know, the Stark pack did survive the series finale, with Sophie's character ultimately ruling the North. At the time, Sophie appeared on The Late Late Show with James Corden and tried to downplay the ink, saying in part, "When I was getting it done, people advised me not to because it looked like I was giving everything away. But I wasn't. It's just a quote from last season. It's just a moral that I like to live by." And the direwolf isn't the only Game of Thrones ink that she's sporting. Sophie also has a matching tattoo with Maisie Williams, the Arya to her Sansa. In 2016, the longtime co-stars and best friends got tattoos on their forearms, signifying the exact date they were both cast in this series, which is very, very special. All right, Jeopardy champ James Holzhauer is on fire. He has just won his 23rd game of Jeopardy. That's incredible. And the 34-year-old professional sports gambler's winnings now total a whopping $1,780,237. Holzhauer is inching his way toward the all-time Jeopardy record held by Ken Jennings, who won a total of $2,520,700 after 74 games back in 2004. And get this, even Jennings is rooting for Holzhauer to go all the way, even though Jennings admits he may be no match for the new champ.
I might have as good a chance at James Holzhauer as anybody on the planet, but I don't know if that's good enough.
Ken Jennings first appeared on Jeopardy as a well-versed computer scientist, while Holzhauer's focus is sports gambling. And when Jeopardy fans criticized Holzhauer's run, calling it a cash grab, Jennings jumped to his defense in a Sunday editorial for the Washington Post, writing in part, "Winning on Jeopardy has always been about out-earning your opponents, and the game pivots on 4 clues every game that allow players to risk their money, 3 daily doubles and 1 final Jeopardy. That element of risk is called out in the name of the show, for crying out loud." Jennings goes on to explain how grateful he is to have appeared on the show before social media, noting that every night Holzhauer is met with harsh criticism, some of which even claims he ruined the show. People are a little dramatic on social media, as we know, obviously. But Jennings further defended Holzhauer's aggressive strategy, saying, quote, "That's what we should appreciate about Holzhauer, the insane confidence of even trying to play Jeopardy, according to an untested personal strategy." Now, according to the Jeopardy website, Holzhauer's winnings per game currently averages $76,864, and the most he's ever won in a game is $131,127. He holds a 97% accuracy rate for his answers and 93% daily double accuracy rate. We are rooting for you, James. I mean, it's very impressive, right? It's a lot of money.
Decent. He's pretty good.
He's pretty good at Jeopardy. And those are your Star Treks for today.
All right, guys, stay with us. The adorable way J-Lo and Mark Anthony's daughter may be following in her mom and dad's footsteps. Plus, we'll be joined live by the cast of the powerful new Netflix series When They See Us, based on the story of the Central Park Five. You don't want to miss this. Stick around.
All right, Monday night's episode of The Bachelorette got intense after Luke P revealed he's starting to fall for Hannah already. We asked you if you think he's being sincere, so let's take a look at what you guys are saying so far.
No, that was way too fast.
Way too fast. You know what, though? I actually believe he believes he's falling in love with her. I don't think he's faking it.
I don't know. I got
a
lot to say about him.
All right, well, let's save it, Jeremy.
We'll save it for that.
Your hot takes.
Yeah, those super hot takes, which is, I don't think he's sincere. Keep voting. We'll be breaking down the entire episode in just a little bit, but first, we move on to this.
So Elle Fanning experienced a frightening medical emergency at the Cannes Film Festival on Monday when she fainted. According to her, it was because her dress was too tight.
Yeah, she bounced back after the incident, posting a photo of her smiling, holding a thumbs up on Instagram. She wrote, "Oops, had a fainting spell tonight in my 1950s Prada prom dress, but it's all good."
She also noted she may have fainted because it was that hashtag time of the month.
Is that a thing?
I think it might be. Yeah, I don't really get sick. I'm revealing a lot now. But I think some women do get really sick and faint, so
yeah, well,
I don't think she would just make that up.
No, right. Following her collapse, Elle received a ton of support. January Jones was one of the many people to comment on the photo. Where's the smelling salts when you need them? Of course, that's the stimulant. It's used to revive a person if they lose consciousness.
Yeah, another to lend support and admiration for Elle's beautiful dress was model Adua Ubba. She wrote, "Best dressed woman ever, though."
Yeah, moments before that incident, Elle posed for a bunch of pictures, looking gorgeous in her beige tulle dress with red, pink, and blue flowers. It was a huge event and a big night.
Yeah, but according to Variety, shortly afterward, while the festival director was speaking on stage at the Chopard Trophy dinner, Elle suddenly collapsed and fell out of her chair. That must have been terrifying.
Oh my goodness, yeah, absolutely. We talk about this a lot when we cover red carpets, especially like the Met Gala recently.
Kim Kardashian was wearing that really tight dress, and she even told people that she could barely breathe.
Right, so a lot of the fashion seems to be confining and it makes sense that it could lead to that.
Looks great, very painful.
Yeah, right. Now, luckily, Elle's sister Dakota Fanning was sitting next to her and was able to help her to her feet. Variety reports that the two were then escorted out.
I mean, glad she was there. Obviously, those two are very supportive of each other. Dakota was there at the premiere for Elle's film Teen Spirit, and they seem to have such a great relationship, grew up acting together. Elle told Porter Edit in March that they'd make believe together all the time growing up. She said this: "We would play these elaborate scenes around the house, like birthing scenes. I would be the baby coming out," which I think is so adorable. I grew up with sisters, and we would do things like that
They
as well.
seem to have such a great relationship, like life partners, you know?
Yeah, and we're very glad that Elle is okay
Yeah.
after this.
All right, listen to this.
If I got you, baby. Whoa, sing it, Emmy. That's Jennifer Lopez's 11-year-old daughter rocking out to Alicia Keys' If I Ain't Got You.
That is an amazing voice.
She's also so grown up.
Yeah, I love how J-Lo's standing there kind of looking on, guiding her through it. This is from a video that J-Lo posted to her YouTube channel on May 11th of her preparing for her first live performance of her single, Medicine.
So clearly, she takes after her famous parents and their voices. Her dad is Mark Anthony.
As it turns out, the
Yeah.
talent's in the family
Yep.
there. According to Dad, Emmy's got quite the head on her shoulders when it comes to her love of singing.
So he opened up about his kid's passion for music on Enrique Santos' iHeartRadio morning show on Monday. So according to Mark, Emmy says she sings because she feels good, adding, "It's the best response. It's incredible."
He adds, "Music was a big part of my life growing up, and I hope it does the same for Emmy as it has done for me. And if that's what she wants to do, well, she should do it because she likes it, not because she has to, not for the fame, not for popularity, or for likes."
Mark says he wouldn't mind if the kids followed in their parents' footsteps into the music business, saying it's not off the table.
J-Lo's previously said the same about her kids pursuing a career in showbiz, just as long as it's what they want to do.
Now, the recent YouTube clip wasn't the first time she showed off Emmy's singing talents. To celebrate the twins' birthday in February, she shared a video of Emmy singing How Far I'll Go from the Disney movie Moana to Instagram.
Super adorable. Max, Emmy's brother, also apparently has a passion for singing. You can see some maybe future full family albums. I don't know.
I mean, she has a voice on her.
All right, now watch this.
Who you in the park with?
I don't know names. I just got lost.
Where did you see the lady?
One lady.
The female jogger was severely beaten and raped. Every black male who was in the park last night is a suspect. I need all of them.
What's going on with my son?
Your son was involved in a rape in Central Park.
Wait a minute. Wait a second.
They saw you rape the lady.
I didn't see a lady or hit anyone. I didn't see any lady.
Kevin.
I didn't see any lady.
I want to see my son right now. Right now.
Whatever they said I did, I didn't.
Wow, so powerful. We are joined now live by a group of very talented young men. The cast of When They See Us. We have Asante Black, Marquise Rodriguez, Khalil Harris, and Ethan Harisi. Thank you so much for being here, guys.
Thank you.
And congratulations on this project. This is so powerful. We both watched it.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch at times, and you guys do a really great job telling these stories.
And we were talking to you a little bit beforehand about just this whole experience. One big night, last night, the special premiere at the Apollo. Tell us about that experience and how that felt for you.
It was incredible. Oh my goodness. The energy in that theater was so amazing, and just watching it, you know, in front of all those people. I mean, the crowd was so into it, and I was just so happy, you know, just to see how involved like everybody was into you know, the movie, and it was a beautiful, beautiful night.
I was seeing like physical, emotional reactions to what your work was.
Insane. You know, it's one thing watching it yourself, but then when you have a whole crowd of people that are watching it and reacting to what you're doing, it's kind of, you know, like an out-of-body experience, kind of sort of like, oh, you feel this way about something I did? That's crazy.
We watched the first two parts by ourselves, just the four of us. Before the premiere, and we were able to sort of take our time and sit with it and feel however we felt. So it was a very sort of different experience having all of that energy that sort of we felt ourselves alone, but have it reflected back at us from like however many hundreds of people were there. It was incredible.
The craziest part of the night was when we were called up on stage, and then the actual five were called up on stage, and we got to stand behind them on the Apollo Theater stage while there are 2,000 people like giving them a standing ovation. They're taking a bow. It was surreal to just watch them take their bow right where it all began in Harlem. That was just the most important of the night.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, I mean, because the original five were there, who your roles are based on, what do you think that was like for them after all of these years being there at Harlem's legendary theater?
I mean, like, this is like a story of triumph now, you know? They went through so much stuff throughout their teenage years. Their youth was robbed from them. Their families had to suffer, and now seeing it all come full circle and their truth is finally being told. It's not a story of loss anymore. It's not a sad story. When you see them up there on that stage all together, taking that bow together with the smiles on their face, it's a story of triumph.
And for people that aren't aware of everything that happened, it's this notorious New York story, this terrible injustice, these 5 young men arrested, convicted of a brutal rape and assault. They did not commit. They're later exonerated and released years later. For you, you're young guys, how much of this story were you aware of?
This story was something that my mom sort of made sure I was aware of, I think in an effort to keep me safe. I think she wanted to make sure that I knew the sorts of gross miscarriages of justice that were happening in our city then in 1989 and that were still happening. So it was something that she definitely made sure I was informed about.
Yeah, what about for you guys?
I did not know about this case at all until I received the audition. And when I did receive it from my manager, I read up on it, I watched the Ken Burns documentary, and that was my first experience like watching and seeing all of this unfold. And I just remember feeling angry and confused because I grew up thinking like if you're going to prison, you're going because you committed a crime. But that wasn't the case with these boys, and it was very surprising to see that something so extreme could happen.
I know, I watched the documentary as well, and it was mind-blowing.
Yeah.
To think that could happen.
I don't think I've ever understood or seen a situation of coerced admission from police more believable than what is in this particular project. That you see how it happened and how it could happen to the point of admitting to something that was not, in fact, at all the truth. So it's incredible.
Yeah, and then doing your prep work, you met with the original Central Park 5, correct? So how much did you ask them about their experiences? What were those interactions like when you first met with them to prep?
I mean, I know I was really, really nervous, you know, to meet the real life Antron because I had done so much preparation and so much research on them. I felt like I knew them, but in reality, I really didn't know them. And once I got to really give him a hug and really meet him in person, it was an indescribable experience. It really, really was. I mean, like, such a beautiful, beautiful soul. And you would never think now that something like that could happen to these men because of just how much of a light they are and how much good energy they radiate, really.
I can tell you're passionate about the project. It's something you wanted to get right. I would imagine portraying these real people, this real story, any role you take's got pressure, but to me, that would be more pressure.
Yeah, the first time I read the script out loud in front of anyone, I was sitting directly next to the real Raymond Sanders.
Oh, wow.
So, but it immediately sort of lent the entire experience the weight that I think it needed and deserved. It was immediately clear to us who we were telling this story for. and there was no ego then. It wasn't about me or about anyone but these 5 men and their families and them getting the justice that they deserved.
Yeah. And they were nothing but supportive from the get-go. Like at the table read, they were beyond excited throughout filming. They were on set from time to time. They would always be supportive and tell us how amazing like we were doing, how real it was. They were like, this is exactly how it was. This is so crazy because we were filming in Harlem. We were filming in Central Park. It was just very authentic.
Same locations that this all happened.
Yeah.
Well, then watching, it's emotional to watch. I imagine shooting those scenes in the police station, in the courtrooms. Talk me through that experience and how emotional that was.
Yeah, the most emotional scene for me was that verdict scene, you know, when they're reading off the counts of guilty, guilty, guilty. Because, and this actually happened in real life, it was in the script, but not in the series. But Kevin's mom actually had a stroke in the courtroom as he was being taken away to prison, you know? And so I had to reenact that, and just, you know, it really angers you because you start to feel everything that he was feeling. You realize this really happened to this guy, you know? For all that he could have known at 14, 15 years old, his mom might have died right then and there, and he's being taken away, not knowing the next time he's gonna see her, not knowing what's happening next. And, you know, usually it's really easy for me to snap out of the emotion of a scene or something like that, but after that scene, after they called a cut, I really felt myself angry. And Kevin was actually there on that day when that happened, so I'm sure it was, you know, these men are so brave, because imagine, no one wants to really relive their trauma, you know, but they're so brave, and they really allowed us to put our best foot forward and make it right for them.
Another piece of this story that's getting attention and press, it highlights Donald Trump's media run during these trials, campaigning for the death penalty. Now you look, obviously we fast forward, Donald Trump's the president. How does that piece of the story make you feel?
Trump made a mistake in 1989. He used his platform at the time to join the side of the media that was, at fuel to the fire, of course, that the media was already, had already started, and just went on the wrong side. He went on the incorrect side, doubled down and said they were still guilty even though they were found innocent. And it's just something that he needs to own up to. But at the end of the day, the story that we're telling, he only plays a small part, and
it's so much bigger than that.
It's a much bigger story than just him.
Yeah, I mean, did the men from the original Central Park 5 have any feelings about the political stuff and the Donald Trump stuff being included in that?
It's an essential part of the story.
Yeah.
It was calling for their deaths at 14, 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
That's how bad it really got for them.
I think he's indicative of just a larger problem. Like I think like the system of oppression that they were within at such a young age it loomed so large, and it is still looming so large. So like you said, he was a small part of it, but it was much larger than that.
Yeah. Series created by Ava DuVernay, who amazing filmmaker. Yeah. I'm sure she had a very clear vision of where she wanted to take this. Just talk to me about working with her and that experience.
She was, I mean, beyond words. Like, seriously, she was so, like, man, she worked, you know, with her cast so well. She always made sure we were comfortable with what we were doing, because, you know, this is a very heavy subject matter. She made sure that there was it was a
crisis counselor.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
crisis counselor on set.
Crisis counselor, and you know, she was always, you know, with us every step of the way, and making sure that we were always, you know, at our best. And I remember in that verdict scene when you know, we had to hear our verdicts, and I remember just being in that emotion and having, you know, I cried, and I couldn't really get out of it even after they said cut, because it was still in my mind. And she came over and she just gave me the biggest hug, and it was like, oh my, it was unbelievable.
She seems like the best person ever.
She has the most love in her heart that I've seen in any human being. It's kind of insane, you know? She really pours herself in her projects, but then also into the people that she's working with, and not even that she's working with, everyone around. Like, there'd be times where, I remember somebody tweeted at her one time while we were filming, I think Ava's filming, and then she replied back, hey, where are you? I'm gonna meet up with you, you know? This person that she's never met.
Wow.
And just goes up to them, gives them a hug, you know, talks to them. This is how she works all the time.
You guys are young guys, seem like fun guys. How would you decompress, right? Like, you got the heaviness of it, like you just mentioned, hard to get out of it. What was the way you did that? and hanging out?
There was definitely just a sense of brotherhood on set. Like we were all there, we were in it, and it was rough sometimes, but like having each other there and being able to just sort of let go of the day.
I feel like you need that.
Yeah, absolutely. You do.
Let's talk about this. So many amazing performances. One in particular, Michael K. Williams, Khalil played your character's father. I mean, to me, watching, especially in that first episode, as he realizes the stakes that are getting higher and higher, it was so passionate. How was it working with him?
Gosh, I mean, goodness, he's just an amazing, amazing person. I'm so grateful, you know, to have him play my dad on this show and to be able to share the screen with him. I mean, he really, you know, took me in, you know, even as his own, you know, over the course of this project. And I remember he took us to Coney Island, you know, and he just showed us around New York after. And like, he was just so amazing. And sharing this, you know, sharing scenes with him, he was so immersed into his character, and he was so into it. And he really was trapped in that feeling of being a father who really just wants the best for his son, and he's not sure, you know, how to do it. And unfortunately, the stakes were just too high for him, and he couldn't take it, and, you know, he left.
Trying to navigate an impossible situation. Coney Island, what did you guys do?
Yeah.
What was the day?
A lot of fun, man. That was a good day. We went to the beach. We went in the water and everything. It was a lot of fun.
Played chicken in the
we
water.
we played chicken in the ocean. That was really fun.
Oh, so you guys really did it.
That's a fun game.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah,
it was
we
our
did.
first time at Coney Island too, so it was really amazing.
Yeah, and then he took us to dinner afterwards, you know, at one of his favorite places, and it was amazing.
Nice.
Real good.
And it is a great cast. Marquise John Leguizamo plays your dad. Yeah, that's a big reaction.
Yeah. So I've met him a few times. I assistant taught this acting class that his daughter was in. So I met him a while back, and I walked into the table read, and he was just like, "What?" and it was amazing working with him. He's first of all a titan. He's an amazing actor, but he's an incredible scene partner. He would give me things like just with his eyes that would get me right where I needed to be, especially during the trial. There were moments where I could just look back and look at John and just sort of take a beat with him, and I had everything I needed, and I'm so grateful for that.
Look, this series is going to move people. People that watch it are going to be moved. They're going to be changed by it. For you as actors, now that you've experienced this story, how has it changed you?
It's really made me realize how humans can really be quick to misjudge, and I've kind of learned that if something confirms your biases, you might want to take a step back and try to look at it through a different lens or a different scope, because there's very great chance that it could be, you know, completely flipped around, could be completely different than what you thought originally. So I mean, really just try to see the humanity in people. You know, we're all human at the end of the day. These guys were not what the media portrayed them to be in 1989. They're not a wolf pack. They're not criminals. They are Yusuf, Kevin, Antron, Raymond, and Corey. You know, the exonerated five.
How about for you?
I mean, for me, it really made me look at, you know, how this criminal justice system works, because prior to this project, I wasn't really aware of, you know, how this world operates, and, you know, me doing my research and looking up how this case functioned and how the media even affected this case, and just how it was so clear and it was so obvious that they didn't do it, yet they were still convicted just, you know, by you know, people basically just saying that they were guilty.
Yeah.
And it makes you look at it in a different way, and it makes you realize exactly how far we still have to go. And you know, hopefully, I pray that this sparks change and it sparks action to move forward.
Yeah. I was very naive. I was very naive before coming into this project. I had always had the feeling of like, I'm gonna be okay. Things that I see on social media, like, they infuriate me, but that couldn't be me. I could never find myself in a situation like that. Yeah. But these boys thought the same. These men thought the same thing. That they were raised right. They would never find themselves in a place like this, and then look what happened. So I'm more, if anything, I'm more wary now. I'm more wary of that very well could be me at any point in time, and that's as a curse and a blessing as well.
Yeah. How about for you, Marquise?
Yeah, I think this whole process has just been a really good reminder of the importance of arming yourself against injustice. I think it's 2019 and we have so much knowledge at our fingertips. Our phones are in our pockets, so we can really seek that knowledge out and make sure that we don't fall prey to the sorts of systems that aren't built for us, that aren't built for our benefit.
It's like everybody pump the brakes on the preconceived notions, right?
Yeah.
Let's look at things a little deeper.
Hey guys, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for
Again,
having
us.
Congrats.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And you guys make sure to watch When They See Us. It comes out May 31st on Netflix.
Yeah.
All right, now switching gears from something serious and powerful to something not very serious at all.
All right, calling all table tennis lovers who just have a couple $1,000 lying around. Louis Vuitton just released their very own ping pong set.
It's called Ping Pong Set James. Get this, it costs $2,210 on the brand's website. Jeremy, can you even believe that?
I would never play with it. Like it would just be like in some room in the house, like don't go in there, nobody touch it.
So I've broken ping pong paddles when I lose, so this is not a gift for me.
Oh, like you slam them on
Yes,
the table?
I've
Yeah.
broken a ping
This
pong
is
paddle.
not it's a very expensive price to pay.
Yeah.
The product listing on the site calls the two-paddled set, quote, ideal for travel. It even includes a holder for the ping pong balls.
So it's made of canvas, leather, and wood elements. Now, according to the site, the set comes complete with a quote, an exclusive cover crafted of masculine monogram eclipse canvas, accented with an LV circle medal.
That LV.
Which I guess is what you're paying for, right?
You're paying for the LV. The luxurious set is only the latest in luxe recreation-based products introduced by Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, in January, the French fashion house unveiled designs for a pair of logo-clad wireless earbuds that are retailing for nearly $1,000.
$1,000 for the
earbuds. A lot of money. The ping pong battles I can't get over. I thought this was a really funny headline, Jeremy. Golf Digest said this $2,000 Louis Vuitton ping pong set is the perfect Father's Day gift for dad's name, Jeff Bezos.
That's about the market for it, right?
You gotta have a lot of money.
All right, now take a look at this.
I am really hopeful. Do you want to know what I like about you?
What?
Oh, I like the way you look at me. Kind of like takes my breath a little bit. Like,
Are you in the middle of taking my shirt off or what?
yeah. He's like a dessert.
Girl, you have your work cut out for you.
I know I do.
I'm winning this competition today.
And Hannah, I can't believe I'm saying this right now. This is pretty crazy because it's so soon. I'm the type of person, when I want something, I go after it.
Cam's a piece of what?
Yeah, lots of drama, and the guys are getting heated here. And here to break down Monday night's premiere episode of The Bachelorette. Not the premiere, it's the second. Second episode. People writer and reporter Jody Guglielmi, so good to see you.
Good to see you.
Let's get right to it. This is actually probably one of my favorite episodes of The Bachelorette
Ever. It was amazing.
The Mr. Right beauty pageant.
The Speedos.
It was pretty crazy. So Miss J. Alexander, two drag queens make a guest appearance to help judge, and they had the guys walk down in Speedos. What were your thoughts on this?
I was kind of like, finally, you know, I mean, like, let's see what they have. It definitely went with her thing. She was a beauty pageant
It does
queen.
make sense.
So it makes sense, but I was like, let's just get to it. Show us what you got.
I liked the talent portion, and I thought...
You didn't like the Speedos?
The Speedos were funny, and I loved how the guys owned it, and they were really fun about it.
I will say, there was twerking, you had everything. You had Luke P in the Speedo, his body. John Paul Jones even said Luke P had the body of a Greek god.
Yeah.
But then there was the
There it
crazy
is.
part. Yeah. Wow. I love that.
Their faces say it all. There you go.
Okay, but then it was really crazy because during the talent portion, Luke P tells Hannah that he's falling in love with her and kisses her at the judging table. What was your reaction to that?
I was honestly cringing through the entire thing. I was like, not the time, not the place. I just thought it was a bad move.
Do you know how sometimes they edit it in a way that really exaggerates the cringe level? That was what was happening here. It felt so quiet and weird and everyone looking. It was awkward. And that's not a talent. She did kind of give him the benefit of the doubt, but it just did not land. To me, it didn't land well.
Do you believe that he believes that he's falling in love with her?
No,
No, I think he believes that. I think he might be a little cuckoo. Like, I think he falls really quickly and he actually loves her.
I don't think it's humanly possible. I mean, the way the show goes, they've known each other for maybe a week. He did meet her after the final rose, so he did kind of have a little edge up on the other guys, but I still think he's telling her what she wants to hear.
I think it's possible.
No.
I've done a lot of dating in New York and people fall hard sometimes.
No, but I'm telling, but I put this in the level, okay, Cam, who went kind of crazy.
Yes.
being super assertive. I think for Luke saying, I love you, it was like a Cam level desperation, super aggressive. He felt like this was him being assertive and getting it out there.
Starting to fall in love. So it's not quite falling in love, it's starting to fall in love.
Which is a little bit of a cop-out, because I guess technically you're right. The second you meet somebody, you could be starting to fall in love with them.
Yeah.
And she was eating it up, so I mean, I disagree. She
That's
seemed to
a
like
good
it.
point. Like, as much as there's criticism of it, it seemed like she loved it.
Yeah,
So,
it's all about
so
it.
about Tyler G, he got the first one-on-one. They took a helicopter ride to somewhere, and they went riding ATVs. Tyler got the rose. I thought he won me over during this. Honestly, Tyler G, what do you think of him in terms of getting the first one-on-one, where he stands?
I have to be honest, I thought this one-on-one was a little surface level. They didn't really get into it like other one-on-ones tend to, but
even at the
he was
end?
perfectly sweet.
Yeah, wait, I thought they did get into it.
No, honestly, as I was watching,
I
was
fell
like,
in love with Tyler.
He was very sweet, very sweet. Like, I totally understood why he got the rose, but I wanted to get to know him just a little bit more.
This part is where I really, like, he was able to open up to her and be kind of assertive and genuine
Seems like
in
he's
a
got
way.
a lot of emotional depth. I don't know, and that jawline. I mean, that's
so
every time he
cute.
moved his mouth, I was like having a hard time.
I think in a world of what could be perceived as a lot of generic white guys, this was a good moment for him to kind of make his fingerprint and his
He's my new favorite.
Yeah,
Really?
no, he's great. He's top of my list.
I definitely, like I said, I'm glad he got the rose, and I'm really excited to get to know him more. Like, I'm very happy that he's sticking around.
I don't know, he's a hottie. All right, let's get into the second group date, roller derby. It's kind of dangerous. Dustin gets injured on the date, but then Dustin gets the group date rose. Okay, let's talk about the after party though, because that's where things get interesting. Cam shows up. He wasn't on a date this week, but he decides to show up anyway. The other guys are not happy about it, so let's take a look at the cringeworthy moment. Watch.
Howdy, y'all. Can I jump in when you get a second?
Well, okay.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's fine. You know.
It was so good talking to you.
You too.
Yeah. Thank you, 7.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Hey. Hey.
Hello, these are for you.
Thank you.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
I had a very brief conversation with her, and then Cam showed up with a bouquet of roses. What?
So this has never happened before. So break this down for us. Was this a smart tactic on Cam's part?
I don't think it was. I think it alienates him from the other men. And like we were saying about Hannah with Luke P, she wears her emotions on her face, and she was not too into it. She was not pleased to see
You
him.
weren't invited.
Totally
So don't show
cringeworthy,
up.
I was
1,000%.
crawling in my skin.
Oh my gosh.
Do you think producers wanted him to do that to stir the pot? Is that kind of what you were seeing here?
I don't think producers push anybody to do anything. I think Cam probably said, hey, I want to do this. And they were like, yes, great, go for it. They knew it'd make good TV, and it certainly did.
So now what happens? Because there's other guys that don't have dates in the first couple of episodes. I mean, it was Connor S., Cam, Matthew. Are they going to just show up? Do you think that Cam kind of opened Pandora's box here?
A little bit. I think now it's going to be a free-for-all. And I think especially with retaliation against Cam, I think he just opened himself up to be interrupted at every turn.
And by the way, this to me feels like a misjudgment on Hannah's call for like a strong, assertive man. Like she wants a man that's going to go for it. Mm-hmm. You got to still know where to draw the line and how to do it in a way.
She's bold, and I guess that is bold.
Open, but it's open for interpretation.
Follow the rules.
Yeah.
And read the room again.
Read the room.
He wasn't into it. There's a difference between being bold and being controlling and over assertive, and I think he's straddling that line right now.
Then when he came through with those chicken nuggets and the heart outside, it was just like, oh my gosh.
It was too much.
By the way, his reaction to every one of these was amazing. He's like, hey,
I know.
All right.
I want to talk about another awkward moment. Jed accidentally walked in on Luke P and Hannah getting a little hot and heavy. I mean, they were going for it.
They were
Okay, what was your reaction to this? Is she kind of losing focus here on the end goal? Maybe too caught up in the moment?
I definitely think she's very caught up in the moment. I think, she has hard eyes totally for Luke P, and I felt for Jed. I could not imagine being in that situation, and I don't know how I would have handled something like that.
But I will say this, as we kept watching, I thought he handled it pretty well. After, it was weird, but then they went out and talked, and he was kind of like, look, see, he joked about it and made light of it in a way that made her feel better about it. And I think that was a key for him.
Yeah, he definitely kind of figured out what she needed to hear, like, because she was very shaken up by it. She knew, like, oh God, this doesn't look good. And so I think she was so afraid of Jed's reaction. So when he came at her very calmly and was cracking a few jokes about it, it totally made her feel a lot better, and I think will help them in the long run almost.
Yeah, but then Luke P continued what they started after, and he came and interrupted an interview that she was doing. I mean, what is your take on that? It is a bold move, but too much.
Too much. It's episode 2, and I'm like, I've seen enough Luke P for a lifetime. It's just too much. I think that he's trying a little bit too hard, but again, she's loving it, so maybe this is the move.
My read on this.
They have a lot of lust for each other.
No, they definitely do.
The chemistry is
there's always the person who emerges with the best sexual chemistry right away.
And that's
them.
Yes.
Will that translate to more? I don't know. To me, that moment read like Hannah was like, "Oh, I'm exhausted. It's the end of the night. I mean, I don't want to have to do this again." But then they went through the whole thing.
Right.
I also feel like he's one of those guys, maybe, that isn't used to having this kind of competition. All these other dudes, because we saw the teaser for what's coming. He's gonna get a little angry.
Well, that's what I always
off the
say
rails.
is a lot of these guys are so attractive. They're probably the hottest dude in their circle of friends.
Of course, yeah.
So they don't know how to deal with competition. And so Luke P is not gonna have it when some of these other guys start to rise the ranks.
Well, and it's so funny because when we were first introduced to Luke P, he said, like, I used to be a playboy, but I'm changing my ways. And I'm like, are you? Now there's only one girl, but everything he's doing to me is like a typical playboy move.
Well,
I think he's gonna go crazy when he doesn't get his way.
That factor is also why I'm kind of suspicious about some of the aggressive, I'm falling in love with you. To me, it's almost like, is it his play? But compared to Tyler, who I just felt like was an open book and genuine from the start.
We love Tyler.
We love Tyler. Tyler, do this.
We love you.
Make it happen. All right, we're here at People Now. We are currently in a Bachelorette draft. It's very intense. Let's check out how Andrea and I
actually
did.
bet something on this on air because then it's
Cup of coffee?
Cup of coffee.
Wait, we both got all of them? No, wait. Oh, sorry. Okay, this is the initial who we chose.
All right.
And then let's see the results.
Let's see how we did.
Are we going to see the final? That's it. Oh, we both did very well.
We
did solid. I've so far primarily been picking guys that have hair similar to mine, and it's serving me decently well.
Because you have to vote for people you think are going to stick around.
Right.
So.
Right.
Good
And
job,
sometimes
Jeremy.
that means the unpopular choice.
Right now, if you had to pick the winner, who is it?
Well, I think it's gonna be. I have 3. Can I say 3?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be between Jed, Peter the pilot, and I think Tyler C will make it far because he is so
cute. Do you know something? That seems.
I don't know anything. I just think based on chemistry.
Those are the top 3.
Now,
All
review the tape.
right, we asked some viewers if they thought Luke P was being sincere by saying he was falling in love with Hannah in our People poll. Let's take a look at the final results here. I think I know what people are going to say. Yeah,
No, way
too
too
fast. After a couple days, I think people start to wonder your intentions. I don't know.
I think he's a cool guy. They've got great chemistry. That was a little aggressive. We'll see how it plays out. Jody, thank you for being here.
Of course.
Thank you.
We're writing down your picks. To follow along, watch The Bachelorette every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be asking you a new question of the day tomorrow on People Now, so tune back in tomorrow for that. Hi, Jody, still here. There she is. Coming up tomorrow, we'll be joined live by Jordan Sparks to discuss her new music, her health, and so much more.
Plus, we'll be taking a look at the success stories of people's 2019 body transformations. Find out how these women lost 100 pounds. Thank you so much for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from Paris Hilton. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Hi, I'm Paris Hilton, and this is One Last Thing. My last splurge was at Chanel, and I bought a ton of cute bags. The last city I just visited was Vienna. The last song stuck in my head was Best Friend's Ass by me.
But I can't stop looking at my best friend's ass.